Hello, friends. Today we're embarking on an exciting journey into the world of ancient Egypt, where we'll delve into the majesty and mystery of the Egyptian sun god, Ra. You'll learn about the ancient myths surrounding this deity and intriguing facts related to his cult. Get ready to uncover more about the greatness and secrets of this ancient deity, which stood at the heart of the beliefs of ancient Egyptians. Enjoy the show. Ra, the leader of the 9 principal deities of the Heliopolitan pantheon, which settled in ancient Egypt. The god of the celestial luminary, the word literally means sun, was characterized by a kind disposition, although he could be wrathful. The rulers of the Egyptian lands claimed to be relatives of Ra, so the right to rule of the pharaohs was considered indisputable. The foremost god of Egypt, the god of the sun, the king of gods. He created himself from the primordial ocean, creator of the earth and sky. Sometimes he is called Amon-Ra. As the god Amun was highly revered in Upper Egypt, he was the god of wind. Until the unification of Egypt, it was believed that Ra and Amun were 2 different gods. Then they merged into one, and the god became Amun-Ra. It is believed that all the pharaohs of Egypt are sons of Ra. He travels through the sky in his boat, illuminating the earth every day. In the evening, according to Egyptian legends, Ra descends into the underworld and battles the forces of evil. Ra has never lost a battle. Having emerged victorious, he returns on his boat to the sky and continues to illuminate the earth. He is the chief judge in the world of gods and in the earthly world. The sun disk is not the only attribute of the sun god Ra. The scepter is constantly by his side. It is a symbol of power and strength. The element of this god is fire, and the main colors associated with Ra are red, orange, yellow, and gold. Many festivals were dedicated to Ra in ancient Egypt. The first day of the year, the 6th, and the 7th day of each month were all dedicated to Ra. He is depicted with the head of a falcon, and his symbol is the sun. Depending on the time of day, the season, and the city in which he was worshipped, Ra was depicted differently. During the day, Ra was portrayed as a man with a solar disk on his head, at night as a ram or a cat capable of killing a serpent. Ra was also depicted as an infant, a lion, or a white calf during the day. He has many forms and many names, but one thing remains unchanged. He is the most important of all gods. He is their king. Ra has an unusual eye, which later became known as the Eye of Ra. This eye can take on different forms and discern falsehood. According to myths and legends, Ra brings immortality not only to the pharaohs, but also to the entire state, but only through the pharaoh. The sun was considered a symbol of immortality in Egypt because it died and was reborn. Amun-Ra, the sun god, is the god of immortality. Ra was also revered because the sun was essential for successful agriculture. Without Ra, life on Earth would be impossible. Like the sun, this god assumes many forms. It is Ra who allows the world to develop, who enables our world to exist. According to Egyptian legends and writings, Ra is the father of Shu, air, and Tefnut, moisture. From these gods, Geb, earth, and Nut, sky, were born. Ra is their grandfather. Isis and Osiris, the benevolent beginnings, as well as Seth and Nephthys, the malevolent beginnings, are considered Ra's great-grandparents. The city of Ra is Heliopolis. This sun city is the capital of the cult of Ra. Origin story. During the reign of the pharaohs of the 3rd dynasty, Ra successfully replaced his predecessor, the primordial god Atum, as the chief deity of the sun and all living beings on earth. Later, the rulers of the Egyptian 5th dynasty transformed the worship of Ra into a state religion and even claimed to be his sons. In other religious centers of Egypt, this god bore another name, Amun. The ancient city of Iunu, Heliopolis, became the heart of the deity's cult. Papyri preserved in the Berlin Museum attest to the fact that ancient Egyptians worshipped the sun god Ra Oscar von Lem, undertook their study at the end of the 19th century. The deity also appears in religious collections, hymns, and inscriptions on tombs. Ra's father is the primitive chaos Nun. The sun proved to be more powerful and older, so he managed to emerge from chaos. This happened in a place where the city of Hermopolis formed. After Ra's birth, he defeated the forces of darkness and ignited the light from the lotus flower. However, other versions of the origin of the solar deity compete with this beautiful legend, so the beginning of his biography is vague. In one part of the myths, the god hatched from a goose egg, while some legends tell that Ra came from the east in the form of a scarab beetle, which rolled the light ahead of him. Some stories claim that the god should be thanked for the land that emerged on Earth. He created it by appearing in the form of a falcon. Ra's appearance is varied. In the legacy left by the ancient Egyptians, the deity sometimes appears in the form of a large cat, the same falcon, a human with a bird's head, or a ram with the sun disk on it. Egyptian Ra heads the Heliopolitan Ennead of deities. All 9 gods of this pantheon are relatives. From Ra were born the son Shu, representing air, and the daughter Tefnut, responsible for moisture and warmth. From this pair were born Geb, earth, and Nut, sky, who became the parents of Osiris, lord of the afterlife, Isis, goddess of fertility, Seth, ruler of natural elements, and Nephthys, goddess of the world of the dead. The name Ra is also borne by the sun god in Slavic mythology. The son of the creator of the universe for millennia carried the hot light on a chariot to the heavenly dawn. Ra in myths. The characterization of this character in ancient Egyptian myths evokes sympathy. The god is depicted as just and kind. Even when he is angry, it quickly dissipates, and he tries to rectify mistakes. Ra, while creating the world, ruled over humanity as a pharaoh under a mysterious name. People enjoyed prosperity in those glorious times until the deity grew old. His bones turned to gold, and his wisdom apparently dwindled. The old god managed to trick his grandson Osiris by learning his second name. Since then, humanity has drifted away, ceasing to heed divine will. Ra became angry with humans and decided to destroy humankind. With the help of other deities, he unleashed a curse upon them to drown in their own blood. The lioness-headed war goddess Sekhmet devoured people. In the Book of the Heavenly Cow, found in one of the tombs, it is described that the sun god woke up in time. He saved the surviving humans by giving Sekhmet barley beer tinted red like blood. Then, Ra, with his granddaughter Nut transformed into a cow on his back, left the ungrateful bipeds in flesh and blood for the sky. In the heavens, Ra didn't want to sit idly, as he also felt pity for humans. Therefore, the sun god began to ride across the sky on a boat at dawn. In the evening, he changed his mode of transportation and headed to the afterlife. There, every night, Ra, in the form of a yellow cat, stood against the serpent, a terrifying creature, a spawn of chaos and evil, Apophis, in another version, Apep. The demon of darkness was not appeased in his desire to forever deprive people of the warm sun, but at dawn, Ra always triumphed over the adversary. After triumphing over the serpent, Ra dedicated an hour to communicating with the living in the afterlife with the gods and the souls of the deceased. The kind god granted them rights on earth in exchange for obedience. Ra also chose a few lucky ones who were bestowed the honor of accompanying him on his journey through the sky during the daytime. In Slavic myths, Ra's daughter Radha decided to compete with the sun god in beauty and grandeur. The competition ended with the father's victory. In the sky, he proved to be superior, and Radha became recognized as the most beautiful on earth. Interesting facts. Ancient Egyptians left 75 offerings in honor of Ra. These artifacts were found in the tombs of the Ramessides, the pharaohs of the 20th dynasty. Small pyramids on each side were adorned with a solar bark and prayers to the god over a bowed man. These objects were believed to empower the deceased in the afterlife. A currently active volcano on Io, a moon of the planet Jupiter, was named after the deity Ra. The Egyptian sun god became a hero in two popular computer and role-playing games, Age of Mythology and Dungeons and Dragons. In Dungeons and Dragons, a fictional world is created where Ra leads the Mulhorandi pantheon. Archaeologist and explorer from Norway, Thor Heyerdahl, gave divine names to two of his boats, Ra and Ra-Satu. The first vessel was built from papyrus according to ancient Egyptian drawings, but it tore apart during the voyage. The Ra-Satu was modified, and the explorer successfully demonstrated through his journey from Morocco to Barbados that ancient sailors could have made transatlantic crossings, suggesting that the Egyptians might have traveled to the New World. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey through the mythology of the ancient Egyptian sun god, Ra. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts or any questions you may have. May the light of Ra guide you on your own journey, illuminating your path with wisdom and inspiration. Stay curious, and until next time, may your adventures be as legendary as the tales of Ra himself.